Have you ever wanted to own your own shop in Hogsmeade? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to do just that. And make sure you stick around to the end to see the benefits that you get with owning your own shop. First, take a look on the map in Hogsmeade for a quest called Minding Your Own Business. Once there, you'll find an elf called Penny who will offer you a chance to buy her owner's shop.
Hello, I was wondering if you would be interested in having your own shop and a house elf to help you with it.
You'll start to get a bit suspicious about the shop and ask questions around why it's a mess and why they can't find a tenant, but that doesn't seem to faze you too much. Penny will eventually ask you to speak to her owner about purchasing the shop and what type of payment is involved. This is where you'll meet Cassandra Mason and start talking about a business deal to buy her shop and how she wants to put some terms and conditions on you, such as if the business fails, you have to sell it back to her for a fraction of the price.
What precisely do you mean, should my efforts fail?
Honestly, I only mean that if for some reason you're unable to keep the shop going, I could help you cut your losses. That's all.
Everything about Cassandra is shaky at best.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
And you can clearly tell something is up with this deal, but of course we go through with it anyways and agree to pay her 1,500 gold for the shop.
I've decided I'd like to go ahead and purchase the shop.
I have to say I'm impressed.
She then goes on about how impressed she is that a random student has 1,500 gold just laying around to buy a shop, and that she now needs us to clean up her late husband's belongings in the back of the shop for her, and of course we agree to help her out. We then head back down the hill and Penny the elf will ask us to fix up the shop since it's completely trashed. As if that's not a massive red flag before buying a shop, but again, of course, we agree to help out and we just spam Reparo everywhere.
Reparo.
Potential. A bit of hard work.
Nice.
We then talk with Penny again and she gives us a key to unlock the chest that supposedly contains Cassandra's late husband's items that we need to retrieve. This elf is just as sketchy as Cassandra and just gives me bad vibes. We then find the chest in the back of the shop, crack it open, and just have a look at how sus this chest is. I mean, you can clearly see his belongings are not there. Why would you climb into this dark hole with the dodgy black vines everywhere? Like, just run away. Once inside what is obviously a trap and we are being set up by this evil witch, we are greeted with creepy mannequins everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Just look at this room. This is the stuff of nightmares. After making your way through those creepy mannequins, you need to start attaching these lanterns to their stands to complete the puzzles. After you complete the first lantern, the entire room through the door shifts away like something out of Inception.
How enlightening! You might survive a bit longer than the others.
Lumos.
You eventually make it into this main room where you meet Fastidio, who's a poltergeist and basically just loves to make everyone's life hell and annoying people. He's pretty funny actually.
I hope you enjoy my playground. I encourage you to tell everyone about it. If you make it out, that is.
As you can see, this is clearly Cassandra's late husband that we were supposed to retrieve the belongings for, but of course it is a trap and now we have to make our way out of this dungeon. You'll then be given two options to go left or right to solve a series of puzzles, which mostly just involves attaching those lanterns to their stands that unlocks additional parts of the room. I chose to start off with the left side puzzle, which essentially just has two mini puzzles within it. The first one is just a maze of doors which you have to go through, and then you end up fighting a bunch of mannequins and of course falling through the floor.
Bombarder. Confringo.
Once you finish off killing all the creepy mannequins, you're greeted with a well-deserved lantern, which you have to, you guessed it, attach it to its stand. Once you're done with the first puzzle, you then enter the next one. I actually had a lot of trouble finding the lantern in this puzzle, as you can see. But it's really not that hard to find. The lantern is hidden in a side room and you can find it by going down to the bottom level and to the top of the staircase. Once there, it's on your right side as seen here.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Place a lamp in the next room.
So much fun to be had. My head is spinning.
You then find another lantern.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Place a lamp just to your right, and then the room starts to spin again. You then find another lantern. Place the lantern once again on the stand, and I think at this point you get the gist of it. There's a lot of lanterns in this place. There's a lot of moving the lanterns around and placing them on the stand. You'll then end up fighting Fastidio, and he just pretty much throws a bunch of stuff at you and you just have to dodge it. Head on over back to the main entrance and you'll see the door starting to unlock as you complete the first puzzle. You'll then start to head on into the second puzzle.
I simply adore this blooming place. Don't you?
Lumos.
In the second puzzle room, you're never going to believe it. It's a whole bunch more of just moving around the lanterns and placing them on the stands. You'll eventually come across a chess room, which I flawlessly cleared on my first try.
Wrong square.
Let's try that again. Just cast Revelio to see the broken tiles more clearer, and just jump across.
That wasn't too difficult.
Once you pass the chessboard, you'll never believe it, once again, more lanterns.
Accio. Wingardium. Wingardium Leviosa.
Once you're finally done with a million lanterns, you'll have to fight some more creepy mannequins. You'll then find the final lantern of the dungeon, attach that to the final door, which will complete the final puzzle, and then you'll fight Fastidio once more. He'll once again throw a bunch of chairs and boxes at you, just dodge them. Once you finish Fastidio, head back to the main room and you'll see the door is finally unlocking fully. Head on through the door and make your way to the end of the dungeon where you'll meet Fastidio once again and you'll be fighting the final boss of the dungeon. Fastidio will then compliment you on making it to the end of the dungeon.
Finally! You, my inordinately clever friend, appear to have traversed this seemingly never-ending dungeon relatively unscathed.
And he'll conjure the final boss made out of boxes and chairs that he's been throwing at you all dungeon.
Well.
After defeating the boss and having your entire screen flipped upside down for the final phase, yes, you heard that right, that wasn't just me doing some fancy editing. When speaking to Fastidio, he'll negotiate terms on when he can visit your store, and once you finish talking to him, you've completed the dungeon. Head on out of the dungeon and talk to Penny.
Hello, Penny.
After talking to Penny, we go to the cops to doll on Cassandra. When confronting Cassandra, she hits the cops with a swish and a flick, and we end up fighting the evil witch.
Come with me.
After defeating Cassandra, the cop wakes up and takes her off to Azkaban. We then head back to see Penny, deny her access to be a free elf,
I look forward to working with you.
and you now have your own shop in Hogsmeade. The main benefit of having your own shop is you can now sell items for a 10% premium than what you could previously. If you made it this far into the video, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch. Let me know what your thoughts are on the video. This is my first time trying to create something like this, and any feedback is appreciated. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks.